Can Smooth Love Potion reach back at the old all-time high, over 20,000% away from its current price? Make sure you're watching until the end of the video, as I'll be giving you my entire price prediction for Smooth Love Potion in 2023. If you haven't already, make sure to smash the like, smash the subscribe, and leave a comment if you've been enjoying these crypto videos. Before I get started with the video, make sure to check out my trading masterclass that's currently 50% off. I'm giving you everything that I know in my trading masterclass to make you a long-term, consistently profitable trader in the markets. So make sure to check out the video description right now. So for SLP to reach back at the old all-time high, it has to move 20,000% from its current price. Now, does it have the potential to do so? SLP token has had some inflation. We've had tokens that have basically been printed, so we've had dilution on the coin. So reaching back at the old all-time high potentially is a little bit of a far reach for SLP token at its current point. It doesn't mean we don't have the potential in the future to break well above the old all-time high, but with its current tokenomics, let's at least look for a 50% retracement. A 50% retracement back to the old all-time high would be over 10,000%. So let's now scroll in and deep dive into SLP token. The first thing I'm going to do with SLP is begin on the weekly time frame. I'm then going to scroll in to the current price action so I can see how the coin is currently trending. So we can see we've now got a chart that basically begins in the middle of 2022 and we're now at the current price point. Overall, if we're just looking at the exponential moving average, this exponential moving average all through this area here has been clearly a downward sloping exponential moving average, which tells me at this current price point that there is a higher probability of more continued downside momentum than upside momentum at this current price point. So the one thing that's actually flashing its alarm bells at me right now is SLP is not currently in a buy zone. For me to be buying a coin, I need this long-term exponential moving average to be pointing to the upside and have a nice, long and strong trend to the upside. All through this region pointing to the left, and if we really scroll out on the chart, we can basically see that for the last multiple years we've been in a downtrending market on the medium term average price. And when we scroll into our current price point, all through this region here, we still have a really long and strong downtrending exponential moving average. And I only trade in the direction of the exponential moving average, especially the long term. When I'm trading Bitcoin, I'm looking at the weekly long-term chart. I'm seeing that the exponential moving average is pointing to the upside. That gives me high probability of more long trades to the upside. But since we're still actually rejecting in all these areas, you can see every time we come between the short and medium-term exponential moving average, all this area is known as the value zone. Every time we're coming into this value zone, we're having rejections to the downside. You can even see here when we scroll out on the chart a little bit, this is the medium term, this is the short term, and in between here, like I teach in my trading course, that is known as the value zone. Every time we're coming into the value zone, we're getting sales. Like very recently, when we scroll into the value zone, we're getting even more sales, and then continued downside momentum. So the only way for me to be looking to long SLP token at its current price point is basically to wait for price to move in this trading range type of direction. What you have is a slightly up, slightly down, slightly up, slightly down. Price will basically be trading in this type of sideways trading range. The reason being is it will allow this exponential moving average to basically finally allow itself to go sideways in this direction here. Obviously, when we scroll out, we can see that there's a really strong downtrending exponential moving average. So to finally allow that strong slope of the EMA to actually even itself out and then allow itself to actually point up to the upside, we need price to basically be bouncing between this zone. We need a strong up push into this area, which is then going to reject. We'll then get a downwards trough, which will then come back and hopefully make a higher high, which will then come back into this area and then make a higher low. We'll then get another push to the upside, potentially rejection area. But what it would actually allow it to do is it would allow for price to finally catch up to its current exponential moving average price, and then finally allow the EMA to begin pointing to the upside. So as I said, I only trade in the direction of the long-term trend. So I'm super interested in getting into Smooth Love Potion, but when I look at its current price action, unfortunately, it just doesn't line up for me to be purchasing soon. But that's why you need to be subscribed to my channel, because as soon as SLP token is ready to buy under my own trading rules, then you will know, as I'll be posting my YouTube videos every single day. So now that we know that the current long-term trend for SLP token is unfortunately not just ready yet for the long-term buy that I can then buy and then hold for multiple months, potentially years, to get that really strong percentage to the upside. But what we can actually do is, as I said, I will let you know as soon as SLP token is ready as the long-term trend is shifting. One thing that we can do right now is actually find some potential sell zones in the market to actually see, when price does finally get ready for us to buy, well, which areas are we going to be looking to get out of our trade. The first thing that I like to do is use this Fibonacci retracement tool. I then go to the all-time high, click it here, and then drag it to the current all-time low. I'm going to need to scroll into the chart here so I can actually grab this bottom price perfectly. Now when we scroll out on the chart, we've got multiple price levels actually showing. We've got the 0.382, we've got the 0.5, we've got the 618, and we've got the 1-to-1 level back at the old all-time high. Now this doesn't happen every single time, but most of the time you'll find that these Fibonacci retracement levels line up nearly perfectly with some support to resistance flip zones in the market. But currently, one zone that I'm really interested in actually scrolling closer into is into this zone right in here. I truly believe that this would be one of the first zones that when price actually reaches into this level, we will at least see a small decline in this area. So let me scroll into this part of the chart so I can show you. So now that we've actually scrolled into the chart on the daily time frame, one of the zones that it nearly perfectly lines up with is this 0.382 level on the Fibonacci retracement. The reason being is all through this area here, we had a really strong support zone continuously. We were all supporting in this area, even supporting when we came back to retest it for another time. But what actually happened in this area initially was acting as a support zone. But look what actually happened in this area. Once we got that breakdown below the support level, I've said it a million times in my trading course, in my videos, it's a support to resistance flip. Once we get a break below in this region here, we will see a retest coming back to actually retest that support zone, but rather than retesting it from above, it's now retesting it from below, meaning it's now going to act as a really strong resistance zone. So this is actually going to be the first target for me to look to be selling out at least a portion of my SLP position. It nearly perfectly lines up with the 382 in the market. So we nearly have a perfect confluence zone where we've got multiple different strategies lining up, telling us to do the same thing in the market. Once the 382 gets breached in the market, you will see a lot of Fibonacci traders come into the market actually looking to sell at this price point. And it nearly perfectly lines up with this support to resistance flip, where you'll have support to resistance flip traders coming into the market at that price to then look to sell. So you've got two separate, complete separate different strategies all coming together to do the same thing in the very similar region. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for confluence in our trading system. So the 382 level would be my first target when getting out of SLP token. So if we look at our current price point on SLP and we actually drag it up to this 0.382 level, we can see that that is 8,000 500% away from our current price. See, we're not shooting for the moon here. We're not even shooting for the old all-time high, 20,000 plus percent away. I'm just looking right now for an 8,000% move back to the 38.2 level, which makes a lot of sense. The 38.2 level is an extremely confluent zone in the market. We've got those support to resistance flip. We've got the Fibonacci levels. Not only that, we're only retracing 38% from the bottom to the top of that overall drop. We're not even going up 30,000%. We're just going up a small portion of what the entire drop has already done. As I spoke about at the start of the video, we've had dilution in SLP token. We've had inflation in SLP token. So the coins are not quite worth what they used to be back here in this region. But if we can get back to say 35% of its overall old value, that would be a massive percentage gain on our overall portfolio. 8,500% away. That's an 85x gain. So again, as I'm always teaching in my trading course, you only ever want to be risking maximum 3% of any of your entire trading portfolio on any single trade. But on this particular trade, I'm nearly sure that we're going to need somewhere around that 30% risk. You can even see just moving that small amount from our current price point just below the low of our current price, that is a 30% move right there. But John, you just said you can only ever take a maximum 3% risk on any single trade. Yes, I teach that in my trading course. You can take this 30% risk trade. I teach you exactly how you can structure the trade so you still only risk a maximum of 3% of your entire trading portfolio, but you can set up this trade risking 30% but still only risking 3% of your total portfolio account. So make sure to check out the video description as I teach you everything that I know about trading in this 7-hour trading masterclass. So when we're structuring this trade, really the goal is roughly to be risking that 30%, but really the gain is 8,500%. So if we look at that risk to reward ratio, we're nearly getting a 3-to-1 risk to reward, where we're risking 30% to basically win 9,000%. That's basically a 30-to-1 risk to reward ratio. It's an absolutely massive risk to reward ratio. Let's even say that this trade only has a 10% chance of occurring. Let's just give it a rough number and say that at our current price point, we only have a 10% chance of reaching back at this 38.2 level. If you were to plug that into your trader's equation, which I teach in my trading course, you would find that even though this trade, let's just say it only had a 10% chance probability, this is still a long-term profitable trade for you to be taking, because we can structure the trade in the correct way that your trader's equation has a positive expectancy, meaning that if you were to take this exact trade hundreds of times, that over those hundreds of trades, you would nearly be guaranteed to be a long-term profitable trader. If you haven't already, make sure to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and leave a comment if you've been enjoying these crypto videos. Make sure to check out the video description for my full trading masterclass that's currently 50% off. And if you'd like to continue watching YouTube, click on the video that's on your screen right now to continue watching for free.